Hi there, Dave Levine here. Thanks very much for joining me for today's Sports Story Snapshot. For those of you that have not met me before or listened to any of these snapshots, I'm a leadership coach. I work both in sport and in business, and really passionate about helping individuals work through some of the challenges that they face, but also maximising some of the opportunities through sort of leadership development and coaching. And the theme I'm picking on today to kind of talk through and share with you is one that's really pertinent for me at the moment. Some of you might have noticed that I've not been sharing much over the last week or so, and that's because it's been my mother's funeral. She passed away a couple of weeks ago. And it's just given me a bit of time to reflect and refresh my thinking around the work that I do and how I turn up in the world. And the theme that I want to talk to you about today is the theme of You Matter. And I want to pay a bit of a tribute to Dr. Tony Ghaye's work around You Matter and mattering and what that concept means, because he's doing some huge work on a much more global scale around the importance of making people feel like they matter. And why is that pertinent and why is that relevant for me right here, right now? Is, well, I've reflected on my relationship with my mother and how I work and the stuff that she's passed on to me in terms of the legacy. And at her funeral, which was really celebratory, to be fair, very sad but celebratory, gave me a real sense of the legacy that she left within me, but also the people she worked with. And she did a similar work to myself in terms of she was a psychotherapist and a counsellor and a relationship counsellor. And there's many of the attributes of coaching and people development that comes into my work, and it's really made me reflect on the importance of making people feel like they matter. Both as in their client relationship, but also in helping leaders and managers work in terms of the relationships that they build up in their work. And why that was really pertinent during the sort of the celebration around her funeral was getting to hear people's stories about the impact. And it's just such an interesting time where people really start sharing stories and the impact that she had and one has on other people. And it just came out of people I've never met before but heard. And it really makes me think about a leader, a coach, a teacher, somebody that's really influential in somebody else's development and upbringing in terms of how they make them feel and the legacy that they can leave and the types of relationships that they have. And it's something really important to me in the work that I do in terms of really helping myself and really watching myself engage with other people and making sure that I make them feel like they're cared for, that they matter, and that they have a real purpose and place and contribution and value in the wider world, whatever they may do. And it's close to me. It's something that I've obviously picked up off the work of my mother and the legacy she's left on me in making me feel like I matter. And it's part of the snapshots really in terms of leading the way, sharing some small snippets, but helping people develop and think about the work they do and how they can fine-tune and contribute to those around them. So my question to you is, what do you do to make those around you feel like they matter? And what do they do? What does it feel like when you feel like you matter and you have a contribution and a place and a value and a worth? And it's really led me on to some of the thinking around that, and I'm developing some content around self-belief and the importance of that, and self-worth and value and confidence. So it's been quite an interesting stage, an interesting time. Yes, very sad on one level, but also really quite enlightening and optimism building, and really wanting me to go out and feel like you're only here once, so make a great contribution, really contribute and engage and make people really feel like they matter and that you really matter. So please consider some of those questions, really have a little think about it. Please, as always, let me know how it's really reflected on you, that concept about mattering and you matter. Please share them with me. Share them on the social media or drop me a line through the website at sportstories247.com. And it's always great to sort of build on the dialogue and build a communication and share some of the great thinking around these sort of key themes and these key snapshots. So until tomorrow, later on in the week, keep in touch, keep watching the Sports Story Snapshots, and have a great rest of the day. See you soon.